What's up, my brothers? Welcome back to the channel. We're going to take a deep dive into your subconscious mind and talk about why the government has allowed the girl power movement to get to where it is nowadays and where it is headed, in my opinion. Now, I need you guys to pay close attention to what I'm talking about and understand that what is coming down the pipes in the near future and what I will be covering in today's video is something that has to happen. It is something that must happen, and it has been in the works for many years. So now that I'm done with my introduction as to what I'll be talking about in this video, I will now go into understanding the world for what it is. With the truth, now that you have the truth, we see the world with red pill lens. We no longer see the world from the blue pill lens, the lens of dishonesty and propaganda. You must understand, my brothers, that we live in a world where money trumps all. Money can buy you power, money can buy you votes, money can essentially make you a god while you're on this earth. You must understand this. You must understand that the government itself, their number one goal is to make more money. And how do they do this? They get you, the slave, the worker, the hoe to their pimp, because the government is the biggest pimp of them all. They make you work, if you think about it, from the time you are 16 to 18 maybe, when you get your first job, all the way until you're around 60 years old, sometimes later. And you still have to pay taxes on at least 40% of money that you've earned. But they take it from you. And then if you decide to have kids, you decide to get married, they have their hand in that as well. They have their hand in everything. And if you try to escape the matrix, the system that they've set up, they will make you pay for it. Full price. And then some. You do not run this world. You do not own anything in this world, and the government will always be your big daddy. They'll never tell you these things growing up. They'll never tell you this in school. They want you to go to school and spend more of your money on the propaganda so that you can become a good cog in the machine called life. So let's go back to the government and why it has allowed the girl power movement to get to this far. One of the hardest truths we have to accept is that we are working and slaving away our lives on this planet, which we are not guaranteed there is a life after this. Unless you are a religious brother, you believe in an afterlife. We do not essentially know what is after this. However, we've been tricked and duped by Big Daddy Pimp government to slave away our most important years, our prime, when we're in our best shape, when we are our brightest, our most bushy-tailed, good little workhorses, to give that time of our youth and our most energetic, productive years of our life away for paper, essentially. Dried paper. They've fooled us into thinking that this paper has value. They fooled us into thinking that the paper is worth more than our lives, than going out and living life itself. We should trade in the time that is scarce, that is limited, time in which is finite and will eventually run out when the clock strikes midnight, which will happen for all of us, in order to receive paper. Paper in which the government says has value. They really got us, guys. They really got us. So now that you understand that the government's main goal is to always make more money and create more cogs in the machine, which is you working for them to make them more money, you must understand how this ties into the girl power movement and how far it's gotten today. You must understand that women are wired to be committed to whatever they invest in particular, their money. That is why when you get in a relationship with a woman and she does not spend any money on you, she is not fully invested and committed to your relationship. Therefore, it is easy for her to walk away. It is easy for her to leave you behind when the better opportunity comes around, because she is not invested in you. This goes for men as well. We are invested in what we build. That is why men are so devastated when their wife decides to leave them and divorce them, their girlfriend cheats. We've invested, we've built up that relationship only to have someone that we trusted building with walk away. The government understands this. The government understands that women are wired to be committed to whatever they invest and they spend their money on. Before the girl power movement, women didn't work and depended on their husbands to provide for themselves and their families. So they were committed to their husband since he was their source of provisioning, security, and income. Not the government. A traditional family schedule sounded something like this. The husband gets up from 9 to 5, works his factory job, and he returns home around 6 o'clock to a house that is well kept and maintained by his wife at home, who has taken care of the kids and done her wifely duties around the house. She's cooked, she's cleaned, she's taken care of the family, she's prepared a meal, and she is submissive and subservient to her husband. You must understand that her nature is loyal to whatever is providing for her. So her husband at the time, in the 1950s and the 1930s, was providing for her financially. Therefore, she was willing to do those things for him. She had no choice. She had no other option. Therefore, she was invested in her family and the man she was building with. Remember, guys, once again, women are wired to be committed to whatever they invest in. However, after feminism, women became dependent on the government. Since the government can print out essentially as much money as they want, it's always going to usurp the money their husband used to make. So there's no competition between the government and men. The government will always win. The government can add value and take away value from this dried paper, this abundant dry paper that they fooled all of us into believing has value, and they can print essentially, and we saw this during the whole Wu flu, they can print essentially as much of it as they want. So gentlemen, there is no competition between you and the government. The government will always outspend you and outpimp you in this world. That is why you must go your own way. That is why you must understand these principles of working for yourself, providing for yourself, and understanding that the woman is only loyal to whatever she is committed to. This is why we see the big government push this feminist agenda, encouraging women to get into debt in order to go to college, to get a useless degree. Now, I'll give you credit. There are degrees that are worth going to college for. You want to be a doctor, you want to be a lawyer, you want to be a dentist, you want to be a nurse, you want to specialize in some sort of skill, you go to college to get that degree. Most women nowadays are not going to college for degrees that hold any merit and value and land them a job, a lucrative job after college. The government has tricked them into thinking that any degree is worth getting. As long as you have a degree, sister, you are more valuable to society. A society that is already run on fakeness, lies, deceit. But still go to college, still get this paper, because that means you're valuable. Get on welfare. Have the government supply you money. If your marriage isn't working out, divorce that man, and we will provide you financial support. We will take care of your kids, says the big government. They also tell women to delay marriage and kids, even though that doesn't align with their biology. Women have a very short window of time to have children, from 18, a little bit before then, but we got to keep it YouTube friendly, 18 to around 28 is the safest range for women to have children. 28 is even pushing it, to be honest. I'd say 18 to around 24, 25. That is in their biology. But the government, full of its lies and deceit and greed, tells women to delay this. Their number one purpose on this earth, to bring life into the earth. They tell them to delay it. They tell them, another one of their biggest purposes, have children and raise those children with morals and principles and values. Push that to the side, chase after a career, make more money than that terrible man. That the patriarchy is evil. The patriarchy wants to hold you down and control you, make you submissive like a slave, when the patriarchy is freedom. But slowly but surely, the government has tricked most of the people still living in this blue pill society that the patriarchy is evil, that men are the oppressors. Because the government will say anything and do anything to make more money. I want to leave you guys on this note. The government wants to separate men and women to not only make more money, but because they understand that we are weaker as a society when there are no family units, when we are off on our own, when we don't have communities. We are community-based species. As humans, we've been in tribes, and those tribes eventually led to towns, and those towns eventually led to cities, and those cities eventually led to states, and those states eventually led to countries. But when the government decides to divide the genders in half and make men go against women and women go against men, then we are a weaker unit and more reliant on the government. And the government therefore has more control over what we spend our money on. Because, gentlemen, at the end of the day, it is all about the dollar sign. It's all about how much money they can squeeze out of you in this lifetime. You must understand that behind every social security number is a dollar sign. Your value is determined based on your family, your income, your projected income, where you were born, your race, before you even start to live life in this world. When you're just a baby, when you're assigned the social security card. That is a red pill truth I want you guys to think about. I need you guys to understand how this world works. I need you guys to adjust, adapt, become self-reliant. Learn how to defend yourself. Learn how to take care of yourself. Learn how to farm. Learn how to make money online. Learn how to be truly independent from this matrix. And you can do this by starting today. You have the truth. You have the knowledge and understanding. Now I need you guys to apply it to your lives. Don't let another minute go by where you're not taking advantage of the information you've been given and using it to get the maximum results out of this life before it ends. I love you all. Drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it to get the message out. And I'll see you guys in the future. Stay blessed.